This is the brand new Rlaarlo that is currently $199. Now, when they released the 917, was it earlier on this year? Time is going so quick. But anyway, when they released this, people laughed because it said 160 kilometers an hour on it. This is the ready to run full carbon one. People laughed. There was also a roller version of this that they put 200 kilometers an hour on the box, and people laughed even more. And even I'm guilty of a little bit of mocking. And if you've not been following the journey of these 1/10 scale speed cars, the current record is, I think it's close to 180 miles an hour. And there's lots of other people that are upwards of 150 mile an hour. This is the new AK-787, and it shares the same platform. And in my opinion, it looks way better than the 917. Comes in two different colours. You've got that classic green and orange. Obviously this is inspired by the Mazda. This is the metal chassis version, but they do a full carbon version of this as well. This is the ready to run. They also do a roller like this, and they also do a full carbon roller. And they're even bringing out this time a dual motor version. Yes, you heard me right, a dual motor one. That is probably going to be the first ever 1/10 dual motor that you can buy out. I don't know if it's going to be ready to run out the box or whether you have to build it yourself, but it's definitely a first. Let's see what you get in the box. You get a bottle opener. Very nice. To our valued guests. Oh, I wonder if this is an invitation to the Christmas ball. Speed is the extension of passion, and creation is the wings of dreams. No, it's not an invitation. Upgrade parts list. Oh, this is very plush. A nice, glossy, fancy instruction manual as well. Very nice. Aerial tube. Stickers, some spare numbers on there. This looks like a warranty kind of card. Spare spur gear, spare pinion, spare seal for the diff, because this has got oil sealed diff. Some Velcro for your body, and I can't remember what that is. It's like a cap to cover. Maybe there's a light on the back. Then you got some sticky pads, cable ties, wheel hex, and Allen keys.
Hi, Barbie.
Oh, hi, Alan.
Now, let's look at this. And this has got a really cool feature. It's got a servo-operated wing. Check this out. Whoop, whoop. I might try and modify it so it moves a bit more, but that is so cool. That body is really nice. Look, got lights in there as well. Front lights, mirrors. So it comes complete with a 2-cell, 3,300 milliamp hour LiPo. It's nice when you get a ready to run that comes with a battery. That is loaded up in there, isn't it? So you got a 4,300 kV 3650 motor. The full carbon one comes with a slightly bigger motor, lower kV, and I think it might be geared a bit different. I think that's a 60 amp. It says VS60 on it. 60 amp brushless ESC will run 2S and 3S, and the full carbon will run 4S. Adjustable camber, adjustable toe, adjustable camber on the rear, sway bars as well tucked in there, and again on the rear there. Your servo is under there, adjustable servo arm, got a metal center drive shaft going through there, shaft driven 4-wheel drive, oil shocks which feel pretty good. Now, the issue I had with the 917, and it wasn't just me, they just didn't go straight. And I thought the issue was down to when you pushed on one corner, the wheel came up. And this is doing the same, look. Whether they've tuned the suspension to make it go a little bit nicer, we will find out. But the issue I had, along with many other people, was when you accelerated, it was just really twitchy until it got up to speed. We'll find out in a minute when we go and run it and see how fast we can get. The diffs on this feel, to me, they feel a little bit notchy. When you turn the front wheel, that should really go the opposite way, but it's going forward. The rear feels quite nice and smooth, actually. Just feels a bit notchy. Might loosen up a bit once we get going. Tyres on this version aren't, I don't think, as good as the full carbon. I think these balloon a little bit more. The wheels, though, I love the wheels. Looks so good. You got some rear lights as well by the looks of it, and there's your rear diffuser. There's your servo for your spoiler. I'm going to fire this up in a minute and check that out. And then we got a really cool etched alloy chassis under here. All hex hardware. Like I mentioned, sealed diffs. You got metal drive shafts at the rear, metal CVDs up front. You got bearings all round. This thing is nice, although It does need, the same as what the AK-917 needed, it needs a bit of adjustment on the suspension and the body height. Look, body is sitting too high, you've got too much wheel gap there, so it needs a little bit of fine tuning. Gonna try and get that suspension down a bit, try and lower the body. I mean, that's fine if you're running on sort of like a rough car park and stuff, but if you've got a nice smooth surface, you want to be kind of down like that really, and it looks way better. So I'm going to throw a battery on charge so we can check that wing out and look at the lights and stuff, and while it's charging I'm going to try and adjust this suspension and the body and make it sit a little bit nicer. Well, there's not much adjustment you can do. You can't get the body any lower at the front because the light buckets and the shock tower are resting on the body, so you can't actually bring the front down anymore. I put the rear down to as low as that to go on the post. I brought the ride height down a little bit by just putting the shocks onto the outer hole on the bottom arms. I've added a tiny bit of droop, although you shouldn't really use droop screws for your ride height. And it's now sitting kind of level. It's got a little bit of rake on it, so the front's a little bit lower. We'll just have to see how it goes. Right, let's check the lights out and the spoiler. Right, switch her on. Oh, I like the little red lights on there. That's pretty cool. Steering's not bad. That's 2S, obviously. Rear lights there. Right, they do nothing. Has it got a gyro? No. I'm going to have to read the instructions really, aren't I? So the spoiler's done by this channel 5 dial. Up. And then down. What would be really good is if you put that onto your throttle. So when you went full throttle, it kind of came down like that. And then when you put the brakes on and come off the throttle, it lifts up again. But at least being on this dial, you can adjust your rear downforce. That's really cool actually. I wonder if this is the first ready to run to have a adjustable rear spoiler. Nice. I suppose we better go and see how fast it is out the box. Right then. Let's see how straight this is out the box. Just got the wing set. It's quite windy today. I've just got the wing set. Oh, really windy. Let's get out the wind a minute. Well, the trim certainly needs setting up. There we go. Right. Let's give it its first pass. Right, stock battery, 2-cell. That's full throttle straight away, easy. Very easy. It's because it's not that fast on 2-cell. It goes nice and straight though, makes change. I mean, first impressions, even on the stock battery, obviously not super quick, but seems to handle better than the 917. Seems a little bit more direct. Whoa. So, stock out the box, 32 mile an hour. I mean, 3S is probably going to see us at about high 40s. Let's give it a try. Right, 3S. This is where it could get a bit spicy. Going to put the wing right down again. I don't think we need rear downforce. Full throttle. This is definitely better than the 917. It goes so much straighter. They must have done something to it. Or it might even just be the body's more aero. Yeah. It's so much more stable. The 917, even on 3-cell, was not this stable. That is nice. Well done, Rlaarlo. Go straight. So then, stock out the box on 3-cell, 50 mile an hour on the nose. That's not bad, is it? That's not a bad speed, and it's a very stable 50 mile an hour as well. Whoa, 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 hang on a minute. Let's just rewind. So on the box it says 120 kilometers an hour, but then in bold it says after upgrading the gears and electronic parts. This is my AK-917, so as we've already discussed, it's the same platform. This started off as the brush version. I converted it to brushless and I put a 4,500 kV motor in it. So only 200 kV more than what this one has in it. I took this to Rossa and I ran it with the included higher gearing. I said just a minute ago you get spare gear, spare pinion. They're actually higher gearing to make it go faster. better. So I put the highest gearing you can on this, 80 amp ESC rather than 60 amp, and on 4S I got 92 miles an hour. '92.
And you were hoping for 80 as well.
I wasn't full throttle. It was not full throttle. I'm currently going through all my files to try and find the 3S run because I can't find it anywhere. So I reckon with that gearing on this that you get in the box, running a decent 3S battery, I don't think this is going to be far off that 120 kilometers an hour. So with a 4S ESC, well, I definitely know it'd do more than 120. So I've kind of replicated it with that. Anyway, I'm not trying to say it's right that you should have put that on there, because it's really annoying when companies put speeds that are just not what it does out of the box. But I do think it will get close to that speed on that gearing you get in the box. Right, anyway, let's get back to the video. Let's see if adding some rear downforce changes things. Yeah, still pretty much the same. I guess the higher speeds will make a big difference to that rear. No gyro on this either, so. $199 at the moment. That is a good price. Oh man, I'm so pleased it handles better. So you don't have to just do speed runs with them. They're actually pretty good little car park bashers as well. Street bashers. Stock battery back in now. This thing's awesome. Full throttle, one-handed, you couldn't do this with a 917. Well, what can I say? I think Rlaarlo have done a great job of this one. It drives a little bit nicer than the Porsche. It definitely looks a little bit nicer. So as far as the brushless alloy chassis one goes, don't wait until pre-sale's over and then whinge it's too expensive. At $199, this is a great price for a 1/10 scale street car. Obviously we'll have to wait and see how the carbon one and the super fast ones handle this body and the aero, but apart from the little bits and pieces I've mentioned in the video, mainly that you can't really adjust the body any more than it is. There's a few adjustments you can do. Other than that, for the price, I can't really fault it. Full carbon one's $299, this is currently $199. Like I've said, don't wait until after the pre-sale. If you're gonna get one while they're on pre-sale. I'm sure there'll be discounts and special offers on this in the future, but from experience, the prices never get as cheap as they are when these first get released. I wanted to give this a try before the end of the video, so I've made a couple of changes. I've cut a little bit of material off the wing mount and I've elongated the hole there. So there's a bit more throw now on the spoiler. It's got a little bit more movement. Not a lot, it's still restricted, but it's got a little bit more. And then taking the receiver, you've got a couple of options. And the first one, let me switch it on. I've switched it to channel 4. So if you press channel 4 now, it goes all the way up and then all the way down. So a little bit of DRS. So when you're driving along, it's much easier to hit that than to adjust it on there. Or put a wire lead on the throttle channel, plug it into the wire lead, take a motor cable out so we don't have loads of noise from the motor. So now it's activated on the throttle. Ready? What I had to do was swap the servo arm because it was facing the other way. It wasn't in the right position. You want it flat when it's accelerating. How cool is that?